what was it about this part of the world, this little part of Queens, that produced everyone from, LL Cool J, Russell Simmons. You got all these different influential people, some underworld, many rap, not just rappers, but executives, and this was
FUBU, you got FUBU, you got
FUBU
guys and FUBU. Yeah.
So what was this place like growing up, and what was unique about it?
This area, back in the 70s, the 80s, especially the 70s, South Jamaica, like it was very, very poor.
Oh,
it was terribly poor.
This is the ghetto of South Jamaica, also in Queens, just 3 miles from Rosedale. It's a familiar story. Once residential and almost all white, now South Jamaica is the home of 70,000 people, most of whom are poor and black. Almost half of them earn less than $4,000 a year. 30,000 live on welfare. As the neighborhood tipped, the crime rate soared. It is 1,600% higher than in Rosedale. More than 9,000 crimes were committed here last year.
Parts of Hollis and St. Albans, St. Albans was considered a rich area, you know what I'm saying? South Jamaica was funny because you had houses and trees lined on the streets, but you had the areas where, like the ghetto areas, that was, really, 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 really bad. So it hid the poverty a little bit. You know why South Jamaica created so many people? I mean, not just Jamaica, Queens itself created so many people, because some of the people you mentioned come from Hollis, you know what I'm saying? Of course, 50 Cent comes from South Jamaica. You have Nas in Queensbridge.
Yeah.
The reason why Queens, I'm gonna speak of Queens in general, produced so many artists and entertainers is because the way life was. You had to find another way, and
Meaning what? Lack of opportunities?
yeah, it was a lot of lack of opportunities. Why you think a lot of the people who got into rap speak about the things they saw? They speak about the people in the neighborhood who hustled. Like LL spoke about that when he was on the Supreme Team documentary that Nas did with myself, and others. I would never think of it as a middle class area, but you had some middle class people, because they had houses. But that didn't mean they wasn't struggling. They was moving into the middle class, really. But some of them was middle class, but the neighborhoods
Itself was.
poor. I was a 5%er at one time.
What year did you get involved with that?
1973.
Oh, early. How old were you at that age?
10 years old.
Oh, wow.
After the killing of Clifford Glover, I became a 5%er.
We give respect to the government 100%, while we know what the government is doing for the people out here. See, we are 5%ers, poor righteous teachers. See, we know everything. See, we're going to be building. We're going to build a black nation that's going to be all wise and righteous. And we'll obey. That's right. But see, we got our own rules and regulations, and we know that God is alive, and he is black.
The parents in the very near future, when they see themselves not fit to educate and qualify their children, will come and recommend them to be a 5%er, and the children got to do their job to teach the parents to be civilized people. Because the world is uncivilized, and these are our words, our children, and all come in the name of Allah.
Plainclothes police officers drove up on Clifford and his father. His father was on his way to work at an automobile shop on New York Boulevard. Clifford goes with him because he do little errands and he get a little change. Back then, kids would go with their fathers to work in the neighborhood or would do little things to earn spare change. Like me, I worked and I bagged groceries across the street at a supermarket from 109 and 15 Merrick Boulevard. I also had a paper route back then. And so that was my little hustles, And I would save to put my little money in the piggy bank. Well, he went with his father and he helped around the automobile shop. Two people drove up on him in plain clothes, unmarked car. They think his father thought he was probably getting stuck up. And they said the N-word. They took off running. They didn't know. They took off running.
What prompted all that? It's not.
The police was looking for some people that stuck up a car, some cab drivers. But this kid was little, they didn't fit the description. Of course, he seen his father run, he ran, and they had no gun. He gets shot in the back, he dies.
And how old was he?
10 years old. At that time, he was the youngest killed. And South Jamaica went up in flames. And you know me, I'm young, piqued my interest. I asked my mother, can I go outside? She told me, don't go near where they're having the wake and the funeral, the wake rather. I go, I'm around there. You got the 5%ers, you got other gangs, you got different people there. And just after the wake, it took off. Police cars was there, rocks was being thrown, and it was fire and everything. It was crazy. I was 10 years old involved in that stuff.
An emotional street co-naming ceremony in Queens today honoring the memory of Clifford Glover.
He was just 10 years old when he was shot and killed by a plainclothes police officer who approached him and his stepfather in an unmarked car while they were walking.
Fox 5's Antoine Lewis takes a look back at this case and why many say today's street renaming is long overdue.
A new name helps identify 112th Road and Guy R. Brewer Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens, Clifford Glover Road. A co-naming 50 years in the making, says his sister, Darlene.
This means a lot to me.
On the morning of April 28, 1973, 10-year-old Clifford Glover was shot and killed by a white plainclothes policeman while walking to work with his stepfather. That officer, Thomas Shea, said he had tried to question them about a robbery and they ran off. Glover was shot in the back. According to records, Shea said Glover pointed a weapon at him, but ballistic testing didn't support his story. And he was indicted for murder, but acquitted by a predominantly white jury in 1974. The verdict prompted a group of outraged Queens residents to attack a visiting Little League team and its supporters from Long Island.
So Queens being probably like the whitest borough at that time, is more multicultural now, and this being like the black pocket, was it maybe there was a lot of police like a lot more racist than maybe being in Manhattan?
Yeah, it was. Look, 103rd precinct had,
like they were holding the line.
103rd precinct had 100 and something cops, I think, and out of that, maybe just a few were black.
Even though there was a large black population.
Right. See what I'm saying? And you know, it was tension. It was the tension area where race was a big factor, more than it is today.
What's wrong with them?
They're black, that's what's wrong with them. And the way I feel, black and white don't mix, and it's never gonna mix.
Every night from 8 to well past midnight, Roar volunteers cruise in patrol cars through the streets of Rosedale, searching for outsiders they feel are a threat to their community. Andre Noblace, a former soldier in the Belgian Congo, came to America with $10. He worked literally day and night as a security guard and dishwasher, and now owns his own home in Rosedale.
Why is this so important to you?
Well, it is very important to me. I live over here, and I want this place to be very safe. I want to keep colored people out of the community.
Right here in this neighborhood, in the whole South Jamaica, that's what you got. At that time, the police would call you nigga and this, that. Get out the street, nigga. It was wild. It was this. I'm 10 years old, 1973. It was the 70s, man.
Rosedale.
A group of blacks get together, they want to help Rosedale with their problems. We don't need any outsiders helping us with our problems. We've been doing good enough for all these years we've been here, and we'll keep doing good enough. And we'll stay white, period.
White on! White on!
White on! This is the thing, white on, everybody.
Would you say in childhood what you remember more is the racism more so than street hustling culture is more of something you remember?
That's exactly what I remember more than the hustling.
Even closer to Rosedale, the very next community, in fact, is Laurelton. In the last 5 years, it's gone from 35% to 65% black. So when they look north and west, the whites in Rosedale see coming the very changes they once fled. When they look east, they see this. Directly across the New York City line are some of the most fashionable and expensive suburbs in America, with homes ranging well over $100,000 in price. School and property taxes on one of these homes for a single year can be higher than the down payment on a house in Rosedale. Beyond are other affluent communities of Nassau County, whose per capita income is among the highest in America.
I was so young. I was 10 years old. I was busy, like I just told you, bagging groceries to earn some money and had a paper route. I wasn't thinking about nothing. Race didn't become important to me till the day Clifford got killed. When Clifford Glover got killed, Then it hit me, boom, because he was my age. And in the paper route, my paper route covered his area.
Oh, could have been you.
Now, I've spoken to him, but not in a long detail. I wasn't a friend, so I saw him. The neighborhoods are small. You know, everybody knows everybody in the blocks and the areas. And so my point is that the news is talking about, everybody's talking. You want to see what's going on. And I wanted to see. And I actually went to the wake and saw a 10-year-old kid my age in a casket. And that kind of like, you know, imprinted in my mind.
Well, I guess it put more of a dislike and distrust from early age of the system or the government. So that following the law you didn't feel bad
After
about
that, I didn't,
no moral.
After that, especially after he was found, the police were found not guilty. Knowing they was dead guilty.
Yeah.
It was no gun. They tried to say he turned around with a gun. It was no gun. But that made me see the law through a whole different viewpoint.
Why is that?
I got police in my family too. So my thing is, I always look at it as this. You got good cops and bad cops. You got, and you got racist cops, and you got some black cops that are just as racist as white cops. Because they feel that you're a criminal just because you black like them, and they grew up in the neighborhood, and they feel everybody might be black, might be criminal. My book is called From the Cradle to the Grave, The Chronicles of a Criminalized Past, the Chronicle of a criminalized class. And I'm speaking about all the things you asking me. And it's a good book. The people who ordered hard copies will be getting theirs delivered. You'll be able to order it soon. Right now, it's just pre-ordered through my website of the hard copy. See, when I became a 5% after the Clifford Glover killing, at that point in time, I started selling marijuana. See, I started veering towards.
Who put you into that? It was around.
It was the thing to do, man. It was everybody was selling marijuana right on the boulevard. So I started doing that, and then
do you looking back? Do you think you were? You seem calm. Obviously intelligent. Were you where did the violence come from, or just that was the environment?
I probably learned from my environment. I probably looked at that little boy in the casket and was filled up with rage behind it.
So do you think, were you kind of enraged as a teenager in general?
I think that after that changed my mind. I've been looking back at my life to figure out where I went wrong. And I look at that.
So that really impacted you.
It did. And I realized it. That's why I'm so calm now. See, when I came home from prison this time, I did something, right? Before I came home, Clifford Glover never had a headstone. He never had a headstone because his family, his mother, and them was told that they would blow the headstone right out of the ground. And I got this from his sister.
I believe it, because it was like that back then.
His sister's
I believe it.
daughter said if you put a headstone, they would blow out the ground. So he never put a headstone in there. So I seen, and I got word that I saw it, somebody told me and they sent it to me. Got word that he didn't have a headstone. They was putting up a GoFundMe. And I said, you know what, I don't pay for this. It took me some time, I got it taken care of, and I bought a headstone. And after I bought the headstone, while I was in prison, it was put in there, and I came home and took them, and we visited Clifford Glover's headstone. I saw it for the first time. I love his family, and
so they're still around too?
Yeah, they're still around. They're family, good family. His sister, his niece he never met. He never got a chance to meet his niece. Good young lady, you know what I'm saying? And they've been kicking his name and keeping him alive through his name. They got a street named after him now.
50 years ago.
Yeah.